Stephen A. Smith. And brother, this is why you so critical to this whole thing. I'm a baby of the movement. One of our greatest poets was Gil Scott-Heron. Gil Scott-Heron tells us the revolution will not be televised. As we go through this thing, and we're not really realizing what our brotherhood is teaching us, but what he was teaching us is that it's going to be a different method of communication, that as this thing occurs, that it's not going to be you be able to turn on ABC, NBC, CNN, because within the context of this new generational of things, y'all ain't caring nothing about no CNN. Y'all just, man, you might want to see on CNN, did you sketch me in the march or something, but you ain't catching them for your information that's going to take you day to day and let you be able to clearly define who you are. And this is the first time in our history, brother, that we have the power to truly define where we are, who we are, where we're going. And that's one of the biggest things for me as a brother in America, having been blessed to study African history, knowing that we are African people. But we've been given all of these labels once again, and these labels divide us so that some brothers, I'm African, I'm a revolutionary, I'm a nationalist, I'm a Negro, I'm a capitalist in the utmost terms. But how do we come together as a family, man, when we talk about that pathological thing, they want to talk about our families, but you put us in prison, you kill us, and you tell us we can't be at the crib with our family so we get welfare. Now where you want to ask where our brothers at? We here, but now our here has to be in terms of those who have the positions to speak on behalf of us have to do it in a thoughtful manner that's going to affect generations. So as those, if them brothers didn't go down there and play, and that's what's on the front burner, watch how quick, the more these brothers play, the less and less Black lives are going to matter. So we and the cold part about this whole thing is how they unrolled the murder and death of Black people. So we get it a year later. We get it 2 years later. Oh, and see, that's the part, brother, that I'm asking sisters today and people of reason to think about why death and mayhem is in our communities at such a rate and who actually capitalizes off of that.
Now that you mentioned NBA players playing, that reinforces what Michael Jordan said: Republicans buy sneakers too. So that means white people watch NBA basketball too. I'm trying to create a parallel, but that's basically what they're saying is commerce means more important than integrity and culture.
Consider, I guarantee you, if somebody's playing hoop, somebody got a Confederate flag waving for their favorite black player. It's America, man. And see, America has been set up in such a way that it affects white people more than us, because you and I have had to go through their educational system. Sure. And if you emerge on the other side, quote unquote, successful, then you understand their system. They have not had to recognize us until now. For the first time in the history of this nation and the world, they had to take a stand. And, God is mysterious. So this whole COVID thing to put us in this whole quarantine where you got to go check it out now. Right. Now you got to check Black people out for the first time, like you never had to check them out before. And what you're seeing, especially white people, and then when I look at the younger generation of white people, what they're seeing is how ugly their ancestors were. How dastardly, what type of mind could come up with a system of, it's wild. We talk about human trafficking today, but we don't want to talk about human trafficking that built America. We don't want to talk about that human trafficking. We don't want to talk about the sex trafficking of plantation to plantation. I like that fine when you got in your house over here, master, can you sell her to me? We're not talking about that. We don't want to talk about the historical relevance of those things that have shaped America's ways of thinking, that will put someone to think that they're superior to my children just because they have a certain privilege that was wicked, unrighteous, unjust in its foundation. And now we want to try to excise the cancer of white supremacy racism like it's a Band-Aid solution, when in fact you got to go to the root and cause of it to see how can it be systematically dismantled, like Dr. King left us the marching orders to do,